Enjoyed it a lot.
Tonight, I met the guys who did it. The trick, or hack as they call it, was pulled off by the Delta Kappa Epsilon fraternity at MIT.
The machine was built by alumni over the past several years. A freon-driven hydraulic press and a vacuum cleaner motor were used to inflate the balloon.
During the last 3 weeks, the Deakhouse brothers made 8 trips to Harvard Stadium in the dead of night to lay the wire and bury the device near the system.
We stood at the stadium along one of the roads, and we could tell if any campus police were within, say, half a mile at most. And when they started coming, we would signal with a flashlight for the people on the field to get off, and they always got off in time. We weren't never even close to being caught.
The power to drive the machine to inflate the balloon was obtained by plugging into an electric circuit under the stadium near the Harvard dressing room. So how could you be sure that nobody was going to be hurt by this contraption?
It was just a freon pump. I mean, freon's what you get in a refrigerator. It's harmless. It's just escaping. It's an inert gas. And the thing was driven by a vacuum cleaner motor, so the thing was harmless.
The Deakhouse brothers even left a note on top of the machine giving instructions on how to quickly and safely remove it from the field.
Suddenly it happened. A balloon with MIT written all over it popped out of the turf at the 46-yard line and grew and grew and grew. First Saturday, and the fun was just beginning, so were the questions. The questions of why, who, and how, all answered here tonight at Delta Kappa Epsilon at MIT.
The first attempt at a Harvard Yale game hack was made by the Delta Kappa Epsilon fraternity exactly 34 years ago Saturday. The machine was built by alumni over the past several years.
And so it all came out, the questions answered.
A freon-driven hydraulic press and a vacuum cleaner motor were used to inflate the balloon. The machine was implanted, and 8 trips to the field were made between the hours of 1:30 and 5 a.m. Security patterns were established every evening. Wire was laid in during 2 to 3 weeks. The machine was laid in Tuesday, November 16th, the week of the game. Power was drawn from an isolated stadium circuit which controlled only the field irrigation system. Safety was ensured for all people involved at all times.
But how do we know it was you? I mean, why wasn't it Phi Gamma Delta or somebody like that?
Because nobody else has this information except for us, now you.
Okay, we believe. Delta Kappa Epsilon of MIT built, plotted, buried, and triggered the balloon hard on Saturday, pulling off the greatest hack in Harvard, Yale, MIT history. After the event was triggered, great elation? Was this the ultimate?
Basically.
Does that answer your question?
We enjoyed it a lot.
Bob, I love this story.
It is a great one, Joyce, and we dealt with it last night at 11:30, and we're going to found and show you never-before-released photographs and blueprints and diagrams of the great balloon story that happened between Harvard Yale. 3 guys from the MIT Delta Kappa Epsilon fraternity responsible for this are with me. Bruce Sohn is the chapter president. Dave Bowman, who I call the device consultant, and Todd Drake, who is the chapter vice president from Randolph, New Jersey. Bruce, we're going to take a look at the question is, why did you do it?
We just do it because it's there. We were there to hack the stadium, and we did it for the fun of it.
What about reprisals? Aren't you at all concerned about the Harvard police, et cetera, and your own administration?
Oh, with the publicity that we've gotten and from what we've heard from the MIT office of the deans, I don't think that we're going to have any problems. At least we're hoping that we won't.
All right, this thing was buried in the ground. How deep, Dave?
The bottom of it's 36 inches down, so the top of the device is approximately 6 inches below the surface.
As we ascertained last night, you guys made 8 separate trips to the stadium under cover of darkness to get this thing planted, huh?
Yeah, we did, and Harvard just gave us pretty much free reign over the stadium at night. They didn't even bother us at all.
Now, obviously, they didn't know about it, right?
Hopefully not.
Take a look at the device itself and how elaborate it is. You told me last night this thing was at least 4 years old. Here's the blueprints.
Right. If you start at the bottom, I don't know what you're looking at. All right, starting at the top, this is the part that contains the balloon right here.
We can see it on TV. We just got through the blueprint. That's how complicated. This was the actual, one of your guys took this photograph as it actually was starting to come out of the ground.
Right. Well, we can't mention who, but this was triggered after the Harvard scored their second touchdown, which ended up being the winning touchdown in the game.
What do you mean you can't mention who? Is the guy that took that picture the one responsible for the building and triggering of the device?
No, absolutely not.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Which one of you three triggered the device?
We're not going to say that. The whole house was there.
The whole house triggered it.
All
huh?
40 people.
All 40 of them are right there, huh?
Exactly.
Actually, what about thing? What's next?
We're working on it. You'll probably catch it in the newspaper in a year or two.
Or maybe even here. Who knows?
Total success. There was no problem at all. We're worrying about anybody getting hurt or anything else. I mean, you told me there were 2,000 pounds of thrust that pushed that baby out of the ground.
It was no problem. We weren't worried about anybody getting hurt, and we knew that nobody would really be near it, and the balloon itself had no dangers.
Total success. Possible medium success. What's the evaluation?
Full success.
Total success. Total success, huh? Great to be successful. Delta Kappa Epsilon, not a bad. Let's hear it for these guys. All right. Huh? We're sorry, Harvard. Your turn next year. All right, Chris, go ahead.
Great story. I think they got their lessons from the Harlem Globetrotters. All they need is an exploding football next time. All right, great story that is. Thank you.
Each Saturday of this NCAA college football season provided us with new and unimaginable surprises. And on this New Year's Day, we thought you'd enjoy one final peek back at the season's most memorable moments. The plays, the players, and the play watchers, all of whom provided us the season of good cheer. From the very beginning, it was clear something was afoot. In 1982, even the well-reared teams got their kick. The bomb of the year in college football exploded right here, and it was detonated by a school that doesn't even have a football team. The school was MIT. The Raiders of Deke House had a big play up their sleeve, and their game plan was too complex for ordinary chalkboards.
It took 8 nights. Each night, 1 or 2 of us had to go in first to scout out, make sure they didn't have any guards.
We all came in army fatigues every night.
The last night, everything was working well. All the wiring was in. We put the machine in the hole, covered all the empty spaces up with dirt, put the sod on, and just hoped it wouldn't get seen.
But when California put a cap on its season, it was college football's play of the year.
Rodgers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rodgers. Oh, the band is out on the field!
This unorchestrated score ended with a solo hit. But the maestro played it strictly low-key, even though his trombone went flat.
Oh, trombones are a dime a dozen. That's no problem. If it had been a French horn, that would have been another problem.
The real problem was sorting out who won and who lost.
We've heard no decision yet. Everybody's milling around on the field. The Bears have won! The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football.
Quite a finish and quite a season, 1982. Those of us at CBS Sports can hardly wait to kick off the 1983 campaign. Happy New Year, everybody.